Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Wednesday, the 26th of October, and golf selections starting on Thursday, the 27th of October. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, as you can hear from my intro that was extended, golf is back this week. Golf's been out for the last few weeks. I don't know, it was about 6-7 weeks I've done the golf bet. It was frustrating me. I've had a break from it on the channel. I've had a little look this week and I like a few. So it's not a side market bet. So it's none of those. There's nothing in the side market I like this week. It's a main outright bet across two tournaments we're going for this week. So golf is coming up. It is just £6 bet. For horses, I've got £20. I think some of you might have thought I'm going to do a little bit more because of the big fields at the Curragh, but I've only done normal stake £20. It's 4 bets, 3 lucky 15s, a combination bet, and the first race is actually the 10 past 2 at Nottingham. So that's the first race for those. Before we get into that, I'll do the review of yesterday. Right, that's the bit of a rundown. This I will share. This is the second time I've done this video. It cut out 11 minutes in the first time. Very frustrating. I mean, you missed me sneeze. That was probably the highlight. So I'll try and remember all the other bits. I won't consciously try and sneeze again, so it's identical. When you have to do it a second time, it's not like I write myself a script. I just talk through stuff. But you get so confused about, have you said that or have you thought about saying that? I don't know. Anywho. Sunday's review, 15 on, 21-11 back. It was a bit of a frustrating one in terms of not the quality of the selections, but the way that I put them in the bets could have yielded a much better return, basically. So we had Hurricane Harvey, which was pushed along most of the race, but still was in contention, but then bumped to rival, and then the jockey looked down about 82 times before he eventually pulled up the horse. So something went wrong with it. Sir Ivan ran with credit and finished third. Darren's Hope was okay, but not close enough. I think it was eighth. Mary Sloan ran a good race and was placed. So it was a place double on that one. And then bet 2. And frustratingly, it was a place double as well. So we had Walking on Glass, place. I think it was 18s, might have been the SP16, something like that. Dagoda ran a brilliant race. I mean, it's lovely when you get things perfectly right. It doesn't happen all the time. But I said it was a 2022's horse. It went off at 22s, ran a great race. Clearly the third best horse. 50-1 is what we had for the channel, and I imagine most people got 50s. And then frustratingly, of my 3 selections in that race, the 455, Verhoeven was the one that just got run out of the placings. It finished 7th. We needed 5. If you were Paddy, you'd have been all right for 6th, but 5 for everybody else. And then 7 Worlds, massively disappointing. It fell out the stalls, and you can't make up ground in a 5 furlong sprint like that. So place double again, and then that just left bet 3 combination, bet Walking on Glass placed, as did Mary Sloan and Is That Love. So we had some good horses, some unlucky stories, and overall, unfortunately, I didn't put 3 and 1 bet together, which is sometimes the challenge. So 15 on, 21-11 back. I make that minus 1983 for the channel stats for last week. So lost a day's stake. That should be relatively similar if you were using Sky Bet or 365. I think if you were non-Sky Bet or 365, you probably lost a bit more last week. I think maybe more like 2.5 day stake, something like that. It would have been a bit more of a challenging week last week. First week of the month, we had 3 brilliant days all in 1 week. So we were well ahead. And then second week we were just ahead, and then last week, loss week, and it would have been a bit more of a heavier loss week for non-Sky and 365 users. So still well ahead. I think I've got it for the channel in 19.5 days ahead for the month, so no one's going to knock that. So I'm hoping most people back from when we had those 3 zinger days in October should still be on a decent profit and loss if you were calculating it. It's always recommended to do it. Obviously, I put out my own figures. I'm putting the bets on the prices I've got, the time I've got. But clearly, sometimes those prices change and move and what have you. So that was last week. That's where we're up to for the month. This is sort of the last week of the month. Last selections will be Sunday for this month. So we've got this week basically. So we'll finish ahead for this week because we're not going to spend 19.5 days stake in the next 5 betting days. So we will finish up for October, which is nice. The question is, how much are we going to win, lose or draw this week? Who knows? I never know. Even if sometimes you've got an inkling, but you never quite know. Right, so what have we got for Wednesday selections? I guess before I go through them, what a headline is, for the main 4 races at the Curragh that most of you will have seen, there's 4 really big field handicaps at the Curragh, which I mentioned the other day in one of my comments. The thing I would flag is that 365 and Sky are 6 places on all 4. And that is unlikely to change because of the amount of runners. They need to have a lot of non-runners. The ground is already declared as heavy. It's unlikely you're going to get a swathe of non-runners. It's not like the ground's suddenly going to dry up and everyone's going to go, I'm not going to run my horses. So you'll get some, but I wouldn't believe you're going to get enough to knock that out. So Sky 6, 365 6. Clearly, 365 with best price guaranteed is a way better place to place your bets. So if you're doing your own bets on these races for tomorrow, 365. Big caveat, on the channel, when I've gone through all bookmaker comparisons, the 6 selections that I've got are all way better, all 6 on Sky. I haven't specifically done it. It's as if I've got a twin brother in the 365 office who's priced them all up. It normally levels out by kind of early morning, but right now, if you're doing it tonight, avoid 365 for my selections specifically. I would take the price on 365 and sacrifice bog across all 6. So, starting here, 2 Nottingham, 2 Curragh. 210 Nottingham, 4 a day, 12 to 1. I think Sky are 5 on that still, most others are 4. 215 the Curragh, Nordic Passage, 18s. 325 the Curragh, Porter Linkton, 100. Flag on that one, I've put up way better 100 to 1 shots than that. I'm having a bit of a punt there. It's a very unexposed horse. There's nothing else I like strong in the race. And I wanted 2 horses in that race. So I've gone with Porter Linkton. The jockey booking is eye-catching. If you look on basic form, the ground looks against it. I'm having a bit of a go because I just think hundreds is a bit too big. It's a tricky one. Paper's falling out. And then the last one, they're 505 knots, High Eels, 22 to 1. And a little word on that one. Jockey on there, Lewis Kent, only his 3rd ride under rules. Last time, 4th of 14, so he did okay last time, so he's no mug. That horse doesn't look good on recent form, but if you look at Nottingham form and ground form, it looks overpriced. What I'm not sure about is whether or not that actually is going to catch light because of the jockey and because of the recency of the form, whether or not that's actually going to do much movement in the market. But I like the price at 22, so I would be taking that much shorter. Just not sure if it's going to move much. So it's a 20p each way, lucky 15. That is bet 1. Bet 2 is my 4 Curragh selections for lucky 15. 215 Newmore, 22 to 1. 325 Kodiak Prince, 50s. That is a ridiculous price. 50 to 1. There's no way that horse will be SP at 50 to 1. Just nuts. So, priced up wrongly. People will catch on to that. It didn't run well last time out, but it's much better than that. And we've taken it before, and it's done us a favour. Won once for 28 to 1, I think 22 to 1, something like that. It just ran badly last time, so it's priced up wrong. It's 25s on 365. So well worth, if you like a single, it's well worth having a go at that just because of the inflated price, because it won't be that tomorrow. 4 o'clock Sequoia Spirit 18s and 4.35 Bellic 25 to 1. A 20p each way lucky 15, £6 you bet, that is bet 2. Then the combination bet is this. Now, it's a bit complicated, more than usual, and also on a flag, for any feedback, welcome. Got some new pens. Because of the cost of living crisis, I've stopped buying Sharpies, and I've gone for supermarket own brand marker pens. And colours seem a bit garish, I think, and they're a little bit thicker. So, yeah, not sure. They were a third of the price, so it was good budget. But So anyhow, what I would say on these Curragh races is that they're big fields, so you just have to be mindful of that. So and the heavy growing, and the last race, the 4:35, got the most runners, and it's the lowest quality, and that's why I've left it out of my combination bet entirely. So we've got in here 2:15 Newmore Nordic Passage, 3:25 Kodiak Prince Porter Linkton, and 4 o'clock Sequoia Spirit. So to fit the channel stake at £20 is why I've done this moreover. So if you want to just do it the simplest way is to do 15p each way doubles on all combinations. There's 8 combinations. I've left out 2 to make it at £20 exactly stake. And then there's 4 times 10p each way trebles. So the way I've done it on the channel, if you want to do it identical, is I've done the double combinations on the first 2. So that's Newmore on Kodiak Prince, Newmore on Porter Linkton, and then Nordic Passage on Kodiak Prince and Nordic Passage on Porter Linkton. So that's the red circle, 4 times 15p each way. And then I've done the doubles on Kodiak Prince and Sequoia Spirit, and Kodiak Prince and Porter Linkton onto Sequoia Spirit. Those are the 2 15p each way doubles. The only ones I've not done is the Sequoia Spirit on those 2 on the channel. Not because it's a bad bet, just because I was rounding up to £20 and I'm a bit anal about it. So that's those, and then it's 4 times 10p each way treble. So there is only 4 combinations in a bet like this. When it's 2, 2 and 1, there's 4 combinations. And the thing to flag here is this is the only bit of my bet that was it maxed me on the Sky Bet account for the channel, so I've had to put this on the rubbish prices at 365. So they are going to be bog, but I've got much more rubbish prices. I think it's like 10 to 1, 66, 25, 14 and 20, something like that. So that's what I've done for those ones. I need to basically sort out the next Sky Bet account this week. But yes, I've just been a bit busy. So that's 260. Then finishing off, saver bet. There's a little Kempton saver bet, so it's a slightly lower stake, lucky 15. Sky or best, then either Paddy Coral 365. So we've got the 5:55, no turning back at 12. So that's 3 across the board, no extra places. 7 o'clock, Jack Sparrow. I think it's Sparrow, but spelt wrong. I think that's right. I haven't spelt it wrong. I think that's how it's spelt. The horse is spelt, but then I've made it really blurry. Anyhow, that's 10 to 1. And then 8 o'clock, Kempton Perfect Myth 9 to 1. And then finishing off the 8:30 Tribal Commander 25 to 1. 18p each way, lucky 15. 540 a bet. That makes it up to £20 exactly if you're not doing the silly double treble thing that I've missed out. Anyway, that's that. Alright, so that is those. And then finishing off, for those who want my golf bet for this week, I'll forgive you if you avoid it. But yeah, I wouldn't put it up if I didn't think it was worth doing. So here is what we've got. So I've got 3 in the Portugal Masters and 2 in the Bermuda Championships, both on Sky Bet terms paying 6. Other bookies are slightly better in other places. Sky Bet do a 10-place market for both of them. You just lose a bit of value, particularly on the win part. So I've just kept it with the 6. So it's a £6 bet. So what I've got in the Portugal Masters, and they are written in order of my value preference for each of the 2 tournaments. Lucas Berregard, 80s. Joachim Lagergeren, I've picked some names here, 40 to 1. Grant Forrest, that's easier, 66 to 1. And then the Bermuda Championship, Brian Gay at 100s and Russell Knox at 33s. So to make it £6, we've got 4 50p each way singles and a 40p each way single. So the only one that's slightly smaller single is on my 5th choice, which is Grant Forrest. So the other 4 that aren't circled are 50p each ways, Grant Forrest 40p each way, and then 6 times 10p each way doubles is all I've done with the channel. So it's a nice small £6 bet for this week for the golf. I don't know about next week, the week after. I'm going to see how it goes week to week. But I had a little look through, and this is what I came up with. I was quite happy with this. And as I said, there was nothing in the side market that was, not even a single on the side market that was worth looking at. So just gone outright market this week on those 2 tournaments. All right. And that starts on Thursday, so you've got a whole day to get that on. The only thing I would flag is that I always hate that. To be fair, there wasn't any movement yet, but in the sporting life, Ben Coley is a very good tipster for golf tipping. He's got a great record, and he tipped Russell Knox for this week. I always hate it when I've done my selections and I literally then see the article published and he's done that. Usually that means the prices go, but it hasn't gone yet. So yeah, happy enough with that at 33s. Okay, I'll leave it there. I'll be back tomorrow night. I'll hopefully try and get on earlier. Basically stuff's got in the way tonight, and then I've had to redo the video. It was a bit of a nightmare. So apologise that it's ended up being later than I said, and I will be back tomorrow where it looks a bit of a bit mixed day for Thursday really, so we'll see how we go. Okay, hope your week's gone well so far. Thank you very much for tuning in as usual, and see you then. Bye bye.